Hi, this is Chris from C Sports with a preview of the Western Conference first round playoff matchup between the Edmonton Oilers and the Chicago Blackhawks. This postseason series features an Edmonton team led by two of the most talented offensive players in the league in Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. Facing this dynamic duel is a Chicago team which has won the Stanley Cup 3 times in the past 10 years. While they are the underdogs, a Blackhawks squad composed of future Hall of Famers Patrick Kane, Jonathan Toews, and Duncan Keith will not go down without a fight, especially if Corey Crawford can play and provide elite-level goaltending. Can Dave Tippett's Oilers take advantage of playing in their home city to knock off the Blackhawks on their way to the franchise's 6th Stanley Cup? Or will the Blackhawks veteran core, along with youngsters like Dylan Strome, Dominik Kubalik, and Alex DeBrincat, pull off the upset? In the regular season, the Oilers posted 83 points, good for second spot in the Pacific Division, only 3 points behind Vegas. Edmonton is the number 5 seed in the Western Conference. The Oilers' goaltending remains a question mark, and they are a team that dominate on the power play. The Blackhawks finished in last spot in the Central Division with 72 points and entered the playoffs as the 12th ranked team in the West. They had about a 4% chance of making the postseason at the time of the stoppage. Chicago had not earned a shot to play in the postseason, but in a 5-game series, a team of Kane, Toews, Keith, and Crawford, and some quality young players cannot be completely counted out. It wouldn't be the most shocking outcome if the Blackhawks beat the Oilers. On offense, Leon Draisaitl was the league's scoring champion and is a Hart Trophy favorite with 43 goals and 67 assists for 110 points in 71 games. Connor McDavid had 34 goals and 97 points in 64 games. The next highest scorer for the Oilers was Ryan Nugent-Hopkins with 61 points, who skated with Draisaitl. McDavid and Draisaitl excel at 5-on-5, playing the majority of their time apart. They've helped create the most effective power play in the league since 1979. As they go, so go the Oilers, and they've just kept going all season long. Outside of Draisaitl, McDavid, and Nugent-Hopkins, the Oilers had only one other player with at least 20 goals or 35 points, while Chicago has 5 players who finished with at least 35 points. It's telling that despite Edmonton having the 2 best forwards in the game, they finished outside the top 10 in goals scored and were just 15 ahead of the Blackhawks. Chicago has a really good combination of youthful energy and playoff experience that Edmonton might find tough to match. Dominik Kubalik, Alex DeBrincat, and Dylan Strome provide the Blackhawks with a strong young core, and they can lean on the steady leadership of Captain Jonathan Toews and, of course, Patrick Kane, who had 33 goals and 84 points in 70 games before the pause. Kane has 123 points in 127 career games, postseason games. Brendan Saad also could be a key contributor offensively. Believe it or not, the Hawks actually outscored the Oilers 5-on-5. Defensively, the Oilers allowed 215 goals, or 3.03 goals against per game, which ranked 20th in the league. Darnell Nurse, Oscar Klefbom, Ethan Bear, and Adam Larson are solid defenders, each in his own strengths. Nurse is a big aggressive defender who skates well. Klefbom is another big-bodied defender with good size and a booming shot. While the Oilers may lack a truly elite defender, their top 4 is much better than Chicago's. Mike Green, who was acquired at the trade deadline to provide some veteran savvy and experience, has decided not to play. The Blackhawks allowed the most shots against per game in the league at 35.1 and the most scoring chances. Duncan Keith is a gamer and in his prime could be counted on to be on the ice every other shift. However, his career is winding down. Brent Seabrook is trying to make a comeback, but he has decided not to play at the last moment. Calvin Dahan, Kiner Murphy, and Olli Mata are serviceable players who, health permitting, will be counted on to try and slow down Edmonton's offense. In terms of goaltending, any combination of Mike Smith and Mikko Koskinen for Edmonton could end up playing in Game 1. The Oilers do not have a definitive number 1 goalie, so it would not be a surprise if both netminders make an appearance in the series. Corey Crawford has backstopped the Hawks to Stanley Cup championships and had a solid season. However, the likelihood of being unavailable for this series could still turn out to be true. This means that an unproven and inexperienced Malcolm Subban will be thrust into the starting spot. Edmonton had the #1 ranked power play at 29.5% and were second ranked penalty killing unit at 84.4%, giving the Oilers a decisive advantage over Chicago, who had the 9th ranked penalty killing unit but were surprisingly 28th on the power play. If we look at an X factor, if for whatever reason both McDavid and Draisaitl struggle offensively, it is imperative that somebody else steps forward for the Oilers. One person could be Kailer Yamamoto, who played his first NHL game on December 31st and quickly hit a stride, scoring 11 goals and 26 points in 27 games. If he can play like that in the qualifying round, then that will take a lot of pressure off Edmonton's big two. James Neal is another candidate on the Oilers to step up. He got off to an incredible hot start in 2019-20 with 11 goals in 14 games, but struggled after that. After the long pause, is it possible that he'll be able to hit the ground running again? An X factor for the Blackhawks is Dylan Strome, the #2 center. He is going to be matched up against either McDavid or Draisaitl. If Strome and his line excels defensively and can contribute offensively, then the Hawks have a chance. Strome was drafted behind McDavid and Jack Eichel and just ahead of Mitch Marner. A productive series could be just what Strome needs to bring his game to the next level. Based on both teams' records, this seems like Edmonton should have no problem with the Blackhawks. In terms of points per game, McDavid and Draisaitl were the only players to average over 1.5 points per game. No other player in the league came close to matching their offensive dominance. So Edmonton should roll over Chicago, right? Well, it might not be that simple. If McDavid or Draisaitl are contained by Chicago, then that would be a huge step towards pulling off the upset. It's a lot easier said than done, but Chicago did manage to take 2 of the 3 matchups against Edmonton during the regular season. This is the Oilers' series to lose, as they are the clear favorites, but the Blackhawks are capable of giving Edmonton a challenge and possibly pulling off the upset. While Chicago has offensive ability and may be able to match the Oilers in that respect, the questions regarding Crawford's health and the Blackhawks' ability to tighten their game defensively gives the Oilers the edge. The Oilers' top 4 defense personnel is better than the Hawks, regardless of whether Duncan Keith can recapture his past form or not. McDavid and Draisaitl are at the top of their game, and the Oilers have a clear advantage in special teams and defense. As with any series, goaltending is always going to play a pivotal role in the final outcome. But given Crawford's uncertainty regarding his health, coupled with the Oilers being healthier net with a couple of viable options, gives Edmonton another advantage in this series. I am picking the Edmonton Oilers to win in 4 games. Thanks for listening, and remember to share your prediction and opinions for this particular series. And please subscribe to C Sports for additional videos.